that note, welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's
Glad to
tea
have you
time.
here. It's tea time here in Band of Blades.
It's tea time.
Tea
Tea
time.
time in Band of Blades.
Everyone clink. If you're at home, clink with us.
Clink.
You have to hit everybody's glass, otherwise
Did you not get your mug tied?
No, I was.
Tyler, there's tea time over there for you.
Oh no.
Tyler's missing
I'll
tea
be
time.
Everyone watch Tyler get up and get his tea.
Tea time is off
Tea
camera.
Well, there he goes.
You're looking into the
See what you're not seeing right now
He's making some good headway toward the end
is
of the
me
table.
picking up a
He's got
mug.
He's
Wow.
sure
Before
he
you
put
sit down, can you put up the fourth wall again?
Oh, okay.
it.
We're all alone.
No, we have to see them. They're a part of us. You're a part of me.
Those
The-
wonderful
the-
people out there
the-
in the dark.
The seventh person who's sitting right here at the end of the table.
The invisible player.
The other DM.
Yeah, the one I'm like reading off of. So, as the sun begins to set behind the crested hills around Vinhaven, you can see some of the colors change in the night sky, and you remember the full moon. That is
Oh,
no
right,
longer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We were there that day.
Yeah.
That's really insensitive.
I was there that
I'm
day.
so sorry. I forgot.
That was a tough day for
I
romance.
just
Yeah. I love you.
he finally did it.
We're
He
not
broke
by
the
the moon.
moon and
The
pulled it
constant
down.
moon.
That shatters into
I
a
can't
thousand
believe
pieces.
it.
As you come out into the cool spring air, reminding you that winter is coming in these short 9 months. It's
Can't not think
winter
about it.
into spring. Yeah, it always has to come back. You look up at the night sky and you can see the combination of star and shattered, luminescent, glowing rock that sprinkle starlight onto the town. You head deeper into the southern portion of town. Is there any particular way that you want to do this, or you just kind of haphazardly mark? I don't want to say haphazardly because I know you're not. You're all trained professionals. So
I guess we would
marching
send
through town.
Team Silver up ahead first.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no way to go about this other than to roll scout. I mean,
Sure.
I feel like I have to roll scout because we're sneaking around.
What is the goal of your scout?
I think we want to find a spot that we can overlook. I do have essentially binoculars. I have fine lenses. So somewhere that I can kind of overlook what's going on.
Probably the tops of one of the warehouses would be my best bet, like a top of a silo or something. You'll be roughly 2 to 3 stories high, so if something does happen on the ground, it would take you a second to get there if it mattered.
Okay, but I feel like that's probably what is best. If I think we need to be in a spot like that way, because like I said, if something does break out, I do have arrows that I can shoot from a distance. I can fight from a distance.
Let's see if you can get there undetected. This will be risky. Standard effect, you'll reach the rooftops.
Oh. 3.
That is a 3.
So you and the 2 rookies kind of sneak around the corner of a warehouse that has an attached silo, and you start to head towards the catwalk, and you're pincered by 2 sets of bandits, 2 and 2 on each side, so it's 4 to 3 if you're going to do something at this point. But they kind of they actually don't engage you. They too come into the alleyway and try to push, not physically push you, but intimidatingly push you back to the pond area.
Flashback. If we sent him ahead, could we have told him to, if something happens, shoot a flare, officer?
Yeah, I mean, it's your flashback.
Yeah, it's your flashback.
Yeah.
I don't have to approve.
Yeah.
Well, in the flashback,
I think that you could have done that beforehand, and that's a 0 stress flashback.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So that's if he chooses.
Yeah, if
he
the
counts as
situation
something.
arises.
I'm not gonna do that yet. Just
good.
But that is
flashback.
that
That's
is
awesome.
good because I do have the flare gun and you guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Excellent
You
use
know,
of
you-
flashback idea.
That's called
She should
flashback.
be the opposite.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, it was,
What happened?
town's dangerous, we'll all just stay here.
Are
we're
you
not trying to start a brawl before the meeting starts, so
sure.
we're just gonna duck out. You know, give away our position of our.
Well, they are essentially gonna like fence you over to the meeting area. They're not gonna let you get away. You're blocked on both sides of the alleyway.
So they're forcing them back the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Cool. That's
There's a
the,
lot of that.
that's what we lost on that village.
Alright.
Was our
Yeah, I
separation.
mean,
You can try to resist that consequence with some stress.
Sorry, you said, are these bandits or
Yeah.
are these the people who we are also meeting with, members of the group?
Correct.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
They're the people we're meeting with.
Essentially. I mean, you're meeting with the supposed bandit leader, Hammer. So
what would the?
you'd have to tell me how you want to resist.
That's
and
why I'm
then-
like trying to think of how I could get out. The only thing I could do is us just like book it out of there, but even that, then
But that resistance roll would only apply to you. It wouldn't apply to the rookies.
Oh.
Because you can't group.
Yeah, you can't group
resistance.
resist.
yeah.
Well, technically you could. You could resist the pincer. Like you could say something like you see it coming, like something just doesn't feel right, and that could be like an insight attribute roll. That's the one I would call for if that was like your reasoning behind it. I think the one that's gonna mostly apply here is insight. You having to predict and see it coming to avoid it happening.
So I could do that. I could roll an insight resistance roll.
Mm-hmm.
Flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Part of my loadout, my 2 items were lenses and then compasses and maps. Is
Mhm.
it possible that I would have a map of this town that I could have shown Silver Prowling Gale?
Of this town specifically,
Yeah.
why don't we do a research roll
Okay.
to see the detail of that map, and I think it's going to cost you 1 stress, because I imagine it's something like looking through like the quartermaster's wares and maps the local area.
What would the positive result of this be?
You actually, I don't know, because you've already failed. What you do, you can't change what's already happened.
Yeah.
I think
I'm just trying to. I'm thinking in terms of him and the rookies finding, like, knowing the quickest route back, or like.
I think the
alley
resistance roll would
networks.
also accomplish that.
There
I
you
have
go.
Yeah.
I have 2 thoughts actually.
Okay.
So I would save that stress, use it. One is I could roll that insight. That's actually something I'm good at. Is insight resistance. Or I could use one of my scrounge.
That's true.
Is to get away safely.
Yeah.
But they're not attacking you, they're just keeping you with us.
Yeah, but
The consequence is that all of you are going to be out in the open.
yeah, that's the thing. Is like if all of us as a group are all together and they decide they don't even want it to be a negotiation anymore, they just want it, then that's a problem. Having us on the outside is a really big bargaining chip for us. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna spend one of my scrounge
Okay.
to get me and the 2 rookies
Sure.
to safety,
Absolutely.
and say that we get away. So like exactly like you said, we see it coming.
Yeah.
We see that them do that, and we're like, there's no way we can get that position.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we've got to go. And we
Yeah.
book it.
I think the result from the scrounge though is that you're being watched. So trying to like do that again is going to be desperate, if not impossible.
Yeah, I think what we'll do instead,
At least in the
is-
meeting area. Like if you're far off somewhere
And
and
that-
come later.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I think instead what we'll do is we will purposefully go back up
Mm-hmm.
the way that we know, because we got sent ahead of the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go back up to make sure we cross paths, looking like we're not going, and
Well, you see it. So here's the thing, though, is that you see it coming, and like I'm letting your specialist noggin know that they've seen you coming. You predicted it and went back, so you know you're being watched, and you know that someone's probably watching you head back towards them. So maybe someone's also watching them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you crossing and leaving. I mean, it's still a bargaining chip regardless, but I'm letting you know that it's probably not gonna be a mystery that like where you went or that you're not a part, like why you're not a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's not a secret.
Okay. So in that case, we might as well just join.
It's up to you. I'm just letting you know that I want your specialist mind. I think as a scout would be aware that if you were able to head this off at the pass, like both squads are being watched.
Okay. I think we do. We just meet back up with the group then.
Okay.
And I come back and I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. We couldn't. They saw us the whole way.
Mm.
We got cornered. We didn't really have a chance to get any position. They know where we're at. They're watching us already.
Well,
Start waving.
nothing to do but talk.
Okay. So is there any particular set of positions you take? Are you all kind of like clumping circled together, like back to back type things, or are you loose around so like where your meeting is like a large center circular thoroughfare.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like it's kind of like multiple. This is farther from the siphoning water warehouses. This is a different set of warehouses and buildings, and it's kind of like cut in a circle, and there's like rough dirt paths that go to each like double door warehouse. Maybe it's something where like they're bringing grapes or bottles or other materials and like siphoning them off into different, like organizing them into different warehouses, or a particular like family's vineyard or something, or winemaker techniques or something. So there's about like 5 or so buildings in kind of a star shape, maybe loose like houses scattered between those warehouses, so roughly like 10 or so buildings, and the circle's about maybe a mile in diameter or so.
I guess I would say I'll be at the center, and then have Silver Prowl be to my left, and Dumont to my right, and then the rookies are just so the 5 of them. I guess I'll put like we'll put Danny DeVito and
As opposed to like pinpoint position, more me like, is everyone close together? Are you spreading everyone out?
spreading, like keeping about like 5 feet between everybody,
Okay.
so that Shackleton's in the middle, and then we've got so Shackleton's in the middle, and then we've got Silver, and then Dumont, and then like the sort of rookies filling in like the spaces between.
Okay.
And then.
And this is in the center, like by a warehouse building. You don't see any other people when you immediately arrive.
Gotcha. We were just told the warehouse, and there's a lot of warehouses.
You're by the warehouse and like the center.
I mean, I can lead to
cafeteria.
the one that I got beat up by.
That was in the north.
No.
No, this is in.
Oh,
Leboeuf,
yeah,
so
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, if there's no markings, I asked Danny to take us to where he got jumped.
No problem. I will follow my blood splatter.
So as you walk towards, kind of in this loose fan formation, you get to that alleyway, and as you break into there, you see 2 people with muskets trained on you that come from the opposite side of the alleyway, and they kind of like push towards the 7 of you.
So they're walking towards us?
Yeah, like guns up and pointed.
So I stop and I put my hands up. I say, "We're here for a meeting."
Oh, we know.
"Where's the meeting?"
It's here.
"All right, who do I talk to?"
And as you like kind of, they're still like coming at you, trying to like intimidate you and like push you back into the
I don't move back.
They stop maybe like 7 or 10 feet from you, and then one of the rookies like pipes up Captain, and as you like turn around, you can see like 8 other like trained musket bandits like coming from the alleyways of other warehouses and like circling you in that tight alleyway. So right now it's 10-7.
Okay.
if you want to follow us this way, we'll have a Hammer meet with you.
What's that way?
He points to the warehouse opposite you.
So
Right
it's,
now.
So it's like, what, 30 feet away from us or something?
Well, it's a mile wide, so maybe like 3/4 of a mile away from you right now.
Alright. Start walking towards it.
Okay. They kind of like keep a loose circle around you and keep trained on you as you cross the thoroughfare.
And once we get like 10 feet from the warehouse, I stop walking.
Okay. The double doors open up and you can see it's like a foreman's like it's a big open warehouse, but there's a catwalk built on the second level, and that has like sectioned out like maybe offices or rooms. It looks very similar to like a woodworking yard or something to that effect. And sitting kind of dominating the center is a single like light that like a candlelight that's swinging up above. And you can see a very thin frame cloaked figure, hood down, bald, and has like leopard spots all across the face. And then a larger like bear of a woman, literally with like some like heavy like mutton chop fillings and with this big braided red ponytail, sitting like cross-legged, feet up on the table in a chair. Come on in, it's a pleasure to see you.
I'm fine where I am. I don't want to go in there. I'm afraid of the dark. We're looking for a winemaker from Westlake.
And you, she like puts a hand up and like some of the guns like touch backs of the rookies.
We're looking for a winemaker from Westlake.
He's in here. Come on in.
I don't want to go in there. I'm afraid of the dark. Why is he in there?
Do you want me to go in, Captain? Okay.
I don't want anybody to go in. I like it out here. We're talking. You can hear me, right? You can hear me? Bring it up, bring it down.
Is there a role you would like to make to assert your dominance in some fashion? Because if not, there might be like an unloaded shot.
Sway.
So great.
Oh my God.
5.
Yeah, okay, we'll
Fine.
take the trouble.
So, Hammer. Okay.
Hammer,
So-
don't hurt him.
So Hammer like gets up. I mean the female is Hammer at this point, but she kind of like pushes the chair back, and you hear like it scratch against the dirt. You can smell like hay and what might be like horses that have been in and out of this area, and she kind of like puts a hand and glides it across the table and like leaves the light, comes kind of like pushing through the darkness. And she pushes through you, like you looked at her for a second, and then you like lost sight of the thin one, and you hear Matthew Lillard like
Is he dead?
he's dying.
Matthew Lillard, no!
Can I help him in any way?
This
My
one
medic
is
is
so mad.
anyone can move in to protect him and try to take. It would be the equivalent of a level 2 harm.
But for him, it would be death.
Yeah, it would be death.
Danny DeVito's gonna rush in.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not taking it.
So Danny DeVito at the last second, you like lost that thin framed person, and then like you look to your left and you see like him put a hand on Matthew Lillard, and then like a dagger like comes from a sheath immediately and backstabs. You put your hand in the way and like get gashed in the arm.
Can I resist to make
Yeah,
it
you can.
a level, not level 2?
Yeah, you can push it to a level 1.
How much stress? and
This
what
would
do I roll?
be a prowess, or this would be a prowess because you're getting in the way. So you roll 3 dice,
Mystery dice.
Good work.
Okay.
and then you'll
Just
take
do
6
dice.
minus the dice roll in stress.
Roll a 6. Roll a 6.
5.
So you take 1 stress.
So what
Instead
level
of
harm is
one-
that?
You'll take a level 1 harm.
Oh, I still have a good beating, don't I? Or you healed my good beating?
Yeah. It'll be a deep cut.
Ooh, deep cut.
Deep cut.
Okay.
Deep cut.
So basically,
First one
they
is-
try to stab Matthew Lillard, and
Mhm.
then Dan DeVito like intercepts it and takes it in the arm.
Yeah. And then Hammer kind of retorts. you're not really in a position to make rules as much as bravado you want to put in the air.
Well, look, I'm sorry. I was born yesterday, but not at night. I know we're here to negotiate a ransom, and we can do it here, as opposed to me and mine having to go in to a dark warehouse. Are you all right with that?
We're standing here now.
All right. So what do you want for him?
One for who? The winemaker?
The winemaker.
I don't want anything for him. He's here of his own free will.
Can we talk to him?
Yeah, absolutely. Brats, come on in. And you watch this larger, plump, has like a long scarf, cane, and is balding at the top. Very like stout figure. Come like waddling up through the space. It's like, yes, darling. It's nice to be called from you. And he kind of like pushes past the light and like comes right behind her and kind of like puts two arms around her arm and like leans up against her. Brands, honey, these people want to take you from here. Is that something?
Whoa. Who said we wanted to talk to him?
Brands, would you like to talk to them? I don't see why not, darling.
Hey, Brants. My name is Malcolm Shackleton. I'm a Legionnaire from the Legion.
I can see that.
We've fallen on hard times. We were wondering if we could rely on you for some support. Any help is good help.
I don't understand. What do you need of a simple winemaker like me?
Well, any money you have lying around. I mean, look at us. I mean, Lillard here almost died from a knife. We're the ones that have to be fighting the hounds and the eater and everything else at the front lines. And anything that you could give be a huge help.
I'm sorry. I am more than safe here with my darling.
Oh, you all seem in good health. I'm talking about everybody else.
What about everybody else?
Well, they'll die if they're not protected.
We'll die if we're not protected. I don't understand what you're saying.
I need money.
Well, what you're really looking for, from the mission, what you're looking for is favors.
Favors?
He's a noble in Westlake.
Oh,
and it's
okay.
hard to get
Sorry.
in. No, you're good.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
Hey.
It's hard to get into Westlake because of like custom stuff, and they're a very guarded town to
Okay.
begin with. So having like a person with an inn could be beneficial to the Legion.
Gotcha. Can I?
Yeah. I assume all that like
We're looking
operates
for
in the same
passage.
objective.
We just want passage through Westlake.
Well, you would need a missive of some sort, but why should I stick my neck out for you all who have already failed us? You're on the back foot, aren't you? That's what word has spread across the Western
Well,
Front.
I'm just gonna. We had already failed you completely. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Well, you failed Aldermark. You're
Mhm.
racing to Skydagger Keep to try and pinch her off for the eastern side of the kingdom. What good does that do us?
Well, I guess when you put it that way, not a lot if you're set on staying here, taking up roots, and not knowing which way the wind is blowing. Look, all we want is safe passage through Westlake. We haven't done any damage to this town, as you can see. We haven't laid a finger on anybody. We haven't brought any trouble with us. All we want to do is go through town.
You and your chosen, this is Hammer speaking. You and your chosen, Zora, the Horned One, Shreya, you all this grand master plan pushed all the way out of Markfield. We all did good. And you get I think that you would recognize her. She was a part of some of the Aldermani soldiers right before the push to Ettenmark Field.
Okay.
She was kind of like a higher ranking like captain, like kind of equivalent to the specialists.
Oh wow.
So then I speak up, and I think as I do that, like I normally have like a little bit of a cloak that like hangs over, it gives me a little bit of coverage, but as I do, I pull it back so you can see the like little bit of feline like tufts of fur on the sides, you know. And I'm like, listen, I was there that day too. There's fights, there's There's battles that you lose. You know that. You know that we weren't expecting what happened there. I forget who's the guy that
Oh, gold ring champion.
Gold Ring Champion. You know Gold Ring Champion overstepped. And what can we do? We can't control that. The best we can do is move forward from that. Our people, what have we done? We've adapted. We've grown to our surroundings. That's what we're doing too as the Legion. That looks like that's what your people are doing too. One of our next steps is getting through Westlake. That's part of our adapting.
Would either of you like to make some sort of action roll to try to persuade?
I can I lead us in a sway action? We're just like,
Sure.
Yeah.
just kind of, so
I've got one towards Sway.
I've got 2, and does this count as a group action?
If you're both doing the same thing.
Woo!
Can I help?
You could assist one of them. You could spend a stress and someone gets an additional die.
So basically,
I'll spend a stress to give you one as well.
Oh man, okay. So
you have another dice to use.
another dice to use, and if we get multiple 6s from different sources, it's critical.
Yep.
So that'd be good.
Oh, that's what's called.
And a 5. Oh, that one.
4.
5 and a 4.
Woo!
Woo! I think what happens here is Nail, and you, like, as you're like recovering from that arm wound, you like lose sight of the thin one again, and they're right next to Hammer, and I think Hammer. The most we can do is a letter. I don't know how well that's gonna do, but Brant stays here.
Alright. We'd love that letter.
Okay. And so, Brant's like goes over quill and ink and starts like take some time to write down a missive of some sort for Westlake if you happen to take that path in the future.
And does he hand it over to me? Does he hand it over?
He'll hand it over to you.
Okay.
Well, he hands it over to Hammer, and Hammer hands it over to you.
Alright.
And like
So
as
it's
you
like
go to
this
dip
section.
it, she doesn't like let go right away.
Mm-hmm. So I just look at her.
I'd like one of them to stay here.
Why?
No particular reason other than a grudge.
No particular reason other than a grudge?
We lost a lot of people.
Everybody lost a lot of people.
Well, I'm taking it really heavily.
Oh. Well, Hammer's taking it really heavily. Alright, fine. Let's go shopping, Hammer. I point to my people. I say, what person, what life do you want to keep? And you'll feed them, right? You're going to feed them?
Something
Will
like
you take
that.
them on walks?
She looks around.
Oh, I don't know.
This
This game.
Are you only offering the rookies or are you offering everyone? That's an important
I just
distinction.
gesture to everybody.
Okay. What is she?
You know what? Wait.
What?
Dame Matthew Lillard is aloof but clutch.
Okay.
Oh.
He comes through when there's pressure.
Can he escape
He's
potentially?
You're saying to the volunteer.
It's like, listen, I don't really know, like, what's in store here. But I gave myself to the Legion because I know you guys are going to accomplish everything. You guys are the ones that are going to stop that horde from getting through. If that means I gotta like chill in like a wine town and like eat that banging sandwich that I ate day in and day out, I'm here.
No. Damn Matthew Lillard. We can't We cannot lose you. I was Danny DeVito. Will stay.
I look at Hammer and I go, we lost a sniper a couple of days back, and they're not taking that too well either. But
I was gonna ask about Indigo. Usually hang out together.
And you see Silver's face just like drop. He's like, you know, Indigo and I, we literally saw the moon shatter together. We shared every battlefield, and we just lost him. And now you're asking us, this tight group, to lose another? You know what kind of pain that is.
Yes, I do. That's why I'm asking. Less asking, more telling, but
Is there somebody who can sneak away?
so the complication right now
Is
is that she's asking you to sacrifice one of your own.
yeah.
Right. I don't like this place, so
I think this is it.
I am not into
Out of-
it.
You
I
have
have
to
one other like, idea,
Sacrificial lambs.
and it's that,
No, we can't lose a specialist.
but if STG says he's gonna stay, he can get away.
Find safe passage.
But then I think
That's risky.
that
That's a
means the
narrative.
second that he runs away, that letter means 0.
Question: can I use my channel ability to try to get a letter from somebody very, very high up, very, very wealthy, asking?
From anywhere in particular, or what do you mean by very? Like, what's the intent of having that letter?
Basically, for what's the winemaker's name?
Brant's Helker.
Brant's Helker. Basically, for it being like a really, really great, like it's too politically useful for him to give us this letter. Like it's from somebody high up. It's from somebody well connected. They would owe him a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
Opening up his trade market, maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
Just something that really scratches his back. A letter that just.
Okay. Okay. Isn't there you have to do a sway roll with channels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's use your sway roll to determine if that is going to be possible.
Can I assist?
Yeah.
I have connections.
Ooh.
Wait,
So
you
it's
have
another stress, right?
Yeah. And you get an additional die.
Can SPG's pleading also assist?
Only one assist at a time.
I'll take it. I haven't done anything.
4.
A 4. So that means you succeed. You get the letter. I think that whoever you requested this from, there would be a price to pay in terms of. I'm gonna hold on to that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold on to that.
Okay.
You'll call in when
Yeah,
that
I'll
was.
call it later.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you have the letter in hand, and you kind of, I assume you give that over to Brands, like as like Hammer kind of like tugs at the letter and waits for you to pick. You kind of like slip the second hand and like force it over to Brands.
Some of them hold on.
And Brands kind of like gingerly plucks it from your hands and opens up. Actually recognizes the seal on it. Opens up, starts to read. Darling, it could be good for us in the long run if you just give them the letter. And she kind of like, there's a noticeable sense of frustration and almost looks like she's going to strike Brance right across the head. I don't understand what you mean, Brance. And then he kind of like takes a side and like whispers in her ear. Let's go of the letter in your hands.
Say we're grateful.
Your
We'll see
town
you
is
again.
so cute. We love it.
You can see like one of the trained like gun persons is that woman from earlier. like pokes you in the back with her rifle.
Oh, God.
Do I see the person I drank wine with
Oh.
over there anywhere?
Yes, they're also amongst the group, and the 2 Bartons are also there as well. You didn't really get a good look at the female, so it's hard to determine who that third person was.
Nice to see you again.
I shoot finger guns over at the guy that I drank wine with. Like,
Gives you a wink. Just business, friend.
I understand completely.
Alright.
Alright.
Do we head back tonight or heading back in the morning?
It's best you leave tonight.
I agree.
Oh, alright, yeah.
Alright. Well, see you when we see you.
Oh, we will.
And we start walking backwards.
And
Sure.
thank you for your
They like break the circle and kind of like, but they still like trained gun you as you leave.
It was a pleasure. You have a few weeks before you should start. Okay, just letting you know. Okay, bye.
And that is the end
Woo!
of Fine Wine.
Fine wine.
Oh,
That
oh.
was so stressful.
I'm so glad you had that anchor, Billy. I was like,
Quartermaster, if you want to mark, there's like a blank spot under your materials.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to write somewhere like that you have a noble's letter, Brance's letter or something. That way when it comes time to use it.
so we can cut through Westmarch.
If you choose to go to West March or Westlake.
Westlake.
There are good options
I mean,
everywhere.
Westlake.
West March.
All
right.
Oh god, we're gonna have to go through Crocker Park.
Yeah.
I know, I try to avoid
Jesus.
Westlake as much as possible.
Damn it. This place sucks.
Alright. So, bookkeeping time.
Woo woo! I'm actually really excited for this part. I don't know why I'm so excited.
And then a graphic book, right? Where I just
Bookkeeping.
I will try to make that happen.
What's the story, Wishbone?
I mean,
So let's see.
yeah, we could just avoid the forest.
Ooh, we get points.
I don't think you can avoid Talgan Forest. Can you?
Oh, I mean, eventually you'll have to go through. I mean, I can go straight from Westlake to East Lake, and then Fort Callisto.
Is there a North Lake and South Lake too?
No, there's this giant lake here that's like you have to cross. I think that's the only way across, right? Is it by boat? The only way across East, like you can't go. around it?
No, you can walk, but it's not a good time. It increases your pressure by 2 if you walk.
Yeah, you want to get a boat. We want to get across.
That's the quartermaster's job.
I'm getting a boat.
for Master.
What am I saying? Let's get a boat. A boat. A boat. A big float ship.
A ferry, a barge.
Very barge. Where is the advance vessel?
A vessel. Or a submarine. If we want to be silly about it. It does sound a bit silly.
Not a whimsical submarine.
Oh. Does the submarine float in the sky? Is that what makes it silly?
Okay.
Air balloons. Oh my god.
So,
What happens?
for your recon mission, you gain.
That's gotta be our next group is gotta be all that
Just
person.
jump.
Oh my
Just-
God. What's the raven?
That can be the scattered
Regain
lions.
truth.
Shattered
That will
lions.
effect.
The shattered lions.
So,
That's
Shattered
really
lions.
pretty.
as you're leaving town,
Mhm.
you get +1 intel as a reward. And and then you also get, you will also get some of the bandits
Mhm.
like follow you out of town and ask to join the Legion.
Alright,
Yes.
isn't that my
We have the food.
But we're not
So
missing any.
honorable.
Right.
We are. We're missing one guy.
Yeah,
We're not missing any rookies.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, so we can't take them on?
No.
Oh, damn.
But maybe you could turn them into laborers. So if you want to start a long-term project, you can get them trained up to be laborers, which will help you with long-term projects.
Build ship.
Yeah.
Build
Ship.
Build dirigible. Build.
I can't promise you danger, but
An
we can give
airship
you a
is still
job.
a
Yeah,
ship.
yeah.
Just saying.
I had a feeling that, like, no, I'll go, leave me. Like,
I was trying to
this is
get
gonna,
it to
this is
happen.
gonna get people choked up.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody. So
Cool. So then for experience, you get 1 experience for completing the mission. You get experience equal to the highest threat enemy you dispatched, which was 0, so you don't get any experience for that. You get experience equal to your specific playbook's requirement. So,
What is rookie?
You survive the mission. Is that an additional one
Yeah.
for rookies?
Yeah.
So 2 for surviving.
Okay, keep reading them out, Tyler.
If you helped your squad by staying out of the way or surviving despite the odds.
Is that different than the first one you read?
No. If you helped your squad by staying out of the way
yeah.
or surviving against despite the odds.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 3?
Still 2 so far. And then if you use...
And the one you said?
1 for completing the mission, that's everyone, right?
Yes.
And then we specifically get 1
for playbooks. Yourself. For like whatever your thing is your thing you just read is different than other specialists or soldiers' playbooks.
But
So
he's reading rookies.
yes, so the rookies get 2 so far.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah. And then scouts is something like
Where
do
is
it
it?
through sneaking and
Right here.
it should be on the sheet.
What's the other?
She has the other
If
one,
you
but instead
brought
of her,
into
like,
play your
mentioning it,
heritage
grabbing
or
it up,
trauma.
I can just look it up on the book. And
Got
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Does bringing into play your heritage or traumas have anything to do with like just discussing like role playing
I
stuff?
think you definitely did it. Yeah, like your Orite stuff.
Yeah.
I think that you attempted it with your Barton thing, so definitely you pulled your Orite stuff. I don't know if you did Panyard things, but your
Yeah.
background in being one of the first like people with hammer, I think that
Me too.
applies. And then officer, are you an Orite officer?
Mhm.
I don't know if you were able to use that in the thing, but your officer background I think helps. So I think you got an additional. So as far as I know, everyone gets 3 experience total.
Anything else, Tyler, for rookies?
Experience is 1 pie piece?
Yes, 1 pie piece anywhere you want to apply it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So because I have 1 more pie piece for prowess, can I make something 3, or am I still not?
You can make something 3.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tyler, anything else for rookies?
I don't think so. I think it's just the general mission experience, the threat, your heritage, and your
Yeah,
specific
it's survive mission. You stood out of the way or survived despite the odds.
So that's 2.
You brought into play your heritage or traumas.
Great.
3.
And that's 2 if you did both of those.
Yeah.
But none of us have trauma yet.
Yeah.
And then per threat level, the highest enemy dispatch.
What?
So
I never
3.
rolled desperate, right?
No. I don't think
Can
anyone's
we
rolled
put
this.
them in specialist as a rookie?
No.
Okay.
You get 1 of your specialist points when you turn specialist. All right, and now the secondary mission.
Fuck!
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I'm really worried.
Everyone!
I mean, like, everyone's like, they're a pack. Like, they go in.
I don't know.
I don't know if they get out. Like, we know they go in hard.
But damn it, they go in. We go hard or we die. We go hard
Or we die.
Oh, I'm nervous that I'm not recording. I know you asked me, but I'm just nervous. I have to check. I'm so scared.
Satiate the doubt.
We have to do it all over again.
Make it real.
Okay, we're good.
I have that same brain thought sometimes.
I'm like, oh my Jesus, what it?
It's like when you have both memories. You have the memory of you doing it, and you also have the memory of it not happening.
Yeah.
You're like, one of these is
Make it
fake.
up.
Complete the mission again in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Go to the end, I show him the letter I punched in. No!
So
No me,
second
No,
guy.
Again, I roll it good. Yeah, sweet. Alright.
Who rolls this
Roll
one?
it good.
I do.
Yeah.
So same thing applies.
I've been rolling poorly.
Johnny's
Uh,
We'll be good now.
Are all on the mission oaths sworn to the Legion?
Yes.
That's a die. Did the commander spend intel on the secondary mission?
No.
That is not a die. Is everyone on the mission a specialist or soldier?
No.
Okay. Leadership. Does any Legionnaire distrust or not respect the leadership enough to obey orders?
No.
Are required specialists or equipment not on the mission?
No.
Yeah, you have your required specialists on there. The heavy.
Okay.
And then specifically for assault missions, did the quartermaster equip the Legionnaires with black shot?
No.
They had black shot though, didn't they?
We had it accessible if you wanted to give it to them. They-
Well, you spend it to get an additional die in assault missions. You can choose to spend that right now if you want to.
Okay, I'll do that.
Right, so you get an additional die for that.
Yeah.
So you have 1 for Legion loyalty, you have 1 for the assaults. You have 2 dice so far. I think that you get 1 for sheer luck. I have to double check that. If someone at home ends up correcting me, oh well. And then wounds. Is any Legionnaire starting the mission wounded?
Yes.
So you'll take -1 die.
Poopy.
So let me read this first. So these are the secondary mission outcomes. On a critical, you succeed at the mission and promote 1 squad member, either a rookie or a soldier, to its next level.
Whoa!
We should really spend on the secondary missions. That's the way to get a rookie's upgraded without even working for it.
6, you succeed at the mission. All specialists take level 1 harm, and you may choose to lose 2 squad members and promote a rookie to a soldier. Note that these squad members count for morale loss as well. On a 4 or 5, choose. Fail the mission and all troops return unharmed, or you can succeed and 2 squad members die and all specialists take level 2 harm. 1 to 3, you fail the mission, lose 3 squad members and all specialists take level 3 harm. In this case, Shinya would die.
Wait, no, she doesn't have a. Oh, she does have a little fan.
Yeah.
Alright.
You cannot fail.
Don't say that.
You just have to roll 4 or higher.
Yeah!
That's it. So you get to choose. Either fail the mission and all troops return unharmed, or you can succeed and 2 squad members die and all specialists take level 2 harm. If you do not succeed, you'll take also the pressure penalty from the mission.
Is the failure. It's
Yeah.
you choose the fail, but everyone's okay.
And not to just, completely say F you to the Ember Wolves. Oh no, we already put those 3 guys to work who wanted to.
Well,
join
you can
us.
change it if you want to.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we can-
you can use them however you want to use them. If the squads end up staying filled, then
Do I get to decide who dies?
yes.
But we
the
lose
Martian-
morale if they die.
We'll lose morale.
We just
We'll
get
lose-
pressure.
We'll lose 2
Well,
can
if
I-
you succeed, you gain
2
morale.
rookies. Oh god.
Well, can I ask my
What do we gain from succeeding?
commander?
Which one did you do? You
The
chose
crocodile.
just the
Crocodile
crocodile.
one.
So 4 morale was the reward. Or I'm sorry, 3 morale and a favor was the reward.
So we're good on morale,
Uh-huh.
but will that pressure be bad?
Pressure's always bad.
But
It
you can use
increases
forces
resistance.
to decrease pressure as well when you.
But we're probably leaving. Just letting
So
you
command-
know.
The favor is kind of crucial
The
here,
favor is
because it
important.
levels up Zora.
Commander,
There's very few ways to level up Zora.
Yeah.
do we kill 2 people and
3.
3?
Right? It's 3, right?
2.
2 rookies.
Because you rolled
And-
4 or
oh,
5.
okay.
2 squad members die, and all specialists take level 2 harm.
It's your decision in the end, right, Delaney?
It is my decision, but I'd love some group input here.
We just got how many people?
3. Yeah, 3.
If you were asking the commander would say, finish the mission.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
The level 2 harm to the 2 specialists sucks because yours was on there, right?
Yeah.
So she'd have level
And medic
3.
would be on there.
Do
So
you
you'd
have-
level 3 and 2?
Do you have 2 level 2 harms on your sheet? Because if you
Yeah.
do, they upgrade to 3, and if you have 3, it upgrades
Right,
to 4,
I
so you'll
would
die.
die, yeah.
You'll die regardless. What's on your sheet? Do you have Shimmy's sheet?
No, I don't.
I have Shimmy a sheet. She's got 2 level 2. Wait, she's healed of all level 2 harms.
She just needs space for 1. She has space for 1, so she would be fine.
Okay.
And what about the medic?
Special K.
Yeah.
Special K.
Special K is
fine.
that's well,
Nothing happened to
Damn!
Special K! Special K is untouched!
yeah, she's fine.
You can't touch Special K!
Yeah,
That is
so-
how we would
Doctor.
describe special
Special
K.
K,
yeah.
The cereal. It's fine.
It's fine, it's fine. Eh.
Alright, so we're gonna succeed in the mission.
Okay, so you get to pick the 2 rookies that
2
die,
level 2 harm.
and a level 2 harm to each of the specialists.
Which 2 levels go down?
It's
Who
the
wants
mark-
to make a former Aldermani soldier? That's more like the question. Hey.
So wait, so when I'm giving harm to Shimya, that's
Just don't make
Yeah.
it goop.
You can call it.
Don't kill Goop. Not Goop.
We know it's your own character,
I'm
but
not
don't
gonna
kill
go
goop.
with
I know.
Just right.
That would fit the running thing that we have is where people kill their own character.
You could do
That's harsh.
um
Wow, man.
Cold blooded.
chunked flesh from bites.
Of the crocodile.
Mhm.
So can we get a story of what happened on the mission when they get back?
I think that's probably gonna be your job. You're about to lose.
But we say that's
Okay, this is what I'm gonna decide.
You can. I'll say it right now. You can.
1, 2,
you can
3,
take
4,
Brigitte.
5.
roll the dice, and 6 is the wild.
Well,
No, I'm volunteering. Brigitte is redundant. She goes on the front line every single time. It
Okay.
makes sense that she fell.
Okay,
R.I.P.
goodbye, Brigitte.
How do you spell Brigitte?
Brigitte.
Do I erase her name from the Emberwolves?
Yeah.
Brigitte.
And when Emberwolves come back,
I just met
that means you get to make a fun, cool character who has mixed traits.
well, you have to fill
or extra dots.
Say it loud.
Just so you know, Brigitte went down yelling "Peace to the face."
So in order to
Zora's
use that
different.
squad, you have to fill in that slot again. You can't send an unfinished squad, so it has to be 5.
But it will be.
Yeah, but it will be.
Just write
Yeah.
unnamed Aldermani dude.
Yeah, all the money something.
Right, one more person has to die. Anybody else want to give up their life right now?
I mean, we gotta keep at least one Zemyati. Who else was Zemyati? It's like the Emberwolves thing, right? We got someone who's like Viking. Let's go in there. How many do we got? Who'd you have?
Cuts was Zemyati.
Oh, cuts.
He doesn't look like he wants to let go of
Cuts.
cuts.
That's just a
really
life
good.
to live.
Cuts is really good.
I could
But
roll a die.
It's if you wanna. Hey,
What was yours?
I need a four-sided
My
die.
rookie? Oh, fucking.
Lexi.
No, mine is Lex.
Gray vexing.
Yeah, Grey Vec, go ahead.
Be sure.
That's not a character I fleshed out yet, so.
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
Gray vexing wind.
the
They
pain
didn't
yard.
know who they were either,
It's a
so.
Panyard massacre.
Oh, they're dropping like flies. They weren't made for this.
SVG is gonna be the lone Panyard life.
Aw.
Gray vexing wind.
I will not rip up your character sheets in front of you.
We'll also
You ripped them up?
we can just
I
erase
did.
them and reuse them.
No.
That's not
Oh,
nice.
you have plans?
They're needed for things.
Oh, do you want this?
Oh,
Brigitte one?
Yeah.
Their bodies will come back.
things. So, yeah.
Okay. Yummerwolves.
Yeah,
lost
they-
Gray
it's
vexing
definitely a
wind.
reuse
You know, he's
situation.
gonna edit it, and there's gonna be an explosion, like from what's it called?
Oh, God.
The last
Games.
of the Everwolves include Lexi, Goop, and Cut. Daphmar.
I wonder how they will blend with these Aldermani bandits who don't already like them.
Whoa! I didn't even think about that!
They're rookies.
No! You didn't even think about that! One of the questions that I get asked at the beginning is, are they loyal to the Legion? And
Yeah.
we lose a die if they're not loyal.
It just means that we don't have to send the Amber Wolves on our next secondary mission.
Right.
They got a bond somehow.
Yeah, they got a
Yeah,
bond.
we can
How
take
do we
them on an
find out?
active mission, let them bond that way.
And we only need 2. Yeah, that's fine.
So all of the specialists who went on that secondary mission get to mark an XP wherever they want.
Oh, sick.
So that's me
Medic.
and
Shimia.
Shimya.
just an 1 XP.
Yeah. Wherever
You know where you want your XP?
Yeah, can you put it
You haven't put any
in-
XP in anywhere.
I
No,
have it.
in prowess.
Oh, yeah.
So did
Totally.
the rookies get XP from the secondary mission?
Sweet. Full.
So you get to
If
mark
we get,
their action
if
die.
they do actually, if we get a success, like a full success, like
Oh,
6,
six.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
level up.
Yeah.
Like they full.
But we did succeed in the mission.
Yes, you did.
So
success. So you would lose 2 morale for 2 people dying, but you gain 4 morale or 3 morale in favor for the mission. So you're still at full morale. And then Zora gets a point.
How many points until Zora?
You
Can we take Zora on missions?
You can. That is not well advised.
No, it's not.
Because while you're away on missions, it's always assumed that the undead are like pressing in on you.
And Zora's just like,
Yeah, yeah.
don't touch my legion.
I don't remember if you guys picked a special ability or not. So you get to pick a special ability and mark an additional XP. Or 2 XP. You also got a favor for the first mission. So
Oh, we
she's
did?
at 2, yeah.
Woo! 2 XP for Zora.
The chosen abilities?
Yeah. So you get to pick one right off the bat, which we can do as like the last thing for all the bookkeeping, campaign action stuff, and then we'll cut from there.
Do you want me to read them all?
Sure.
Okay, Star of the Dawn. When you advance.
Well, we can do that last.
Oh.
We'll go through like the commander,
Oh.
campaign, quartermaster, spy master,
And then
type
we'll
stuff.
talk to Zora.
Yeah. So the rest of you come back from your recon mission. Your horse is hitting the rough, blasted, dry, barren land on the western front towards the encampment. It's
Did we use
about
a horse?
yeah,
okay.
This.
This is the fiction.
Yeah, this is the fiction. After about 2 days, you see Shimia carrying back two of the rookies on like sleds, like body sleds made from forest wood, and they drop into town and explain that the dire beast was some sort of mutant, like crocodile hydralisk thing. It had like 6 heads and like had a super wide, like muscular body, and
Ew.
it was a bad time.
Sounds like a really cool mission.
But they succeeded. Zora comes up and like kind of like bolsters Shimmy across like the breastplate and like, good job, and like, you know, I don't know if you look super happy or not about what went down, but
Can't tell.
yeah.
I'm stoic as hell.
So yeah,
I
that's
just nod.
that's how that mission kind of panned out.
Yeah, way to take down King K. Rool.
Yeah, exactly.
God
6-headed King K.
No.
Freaky.
So
Oh my
first, time passes. You
Yes.
mark off 1 tick on the clock.
Oh my gosh.
Time is fast.
Time has come day.
Time. So yeah, time passes. Then we go into campaign actions in the Spy Master.
Okay, so la la la. So where are we right now?
You're still in the Western Front currently.
Okay. Let's see. So we have good morale, correct?
You must also mark off food.
10. Okay. Mark off food. That is our second food. How are we on stress, guys? Does everybody have a lot of stress?
I
Everyone
only
still-
have my person, and they only have
Shimya has 4. Special K. Do they get stressed if they went on the mission?
No, not in the secondary.
Shimya has 4. Special K has 2. Did you get any stress, Luke?
No stress from.
So you still have 1 stress.
Yeah.
So it's just shimmy
And then
like super
Nick,
stressed.
did you get any stress?
What does Gray still have? Or silver prowess?
No,
he was
actually
at
I
2,
didn't.
so he's still at 2.
Damn. Keeps it cool.
And then your 2 rookies used assists each. So you
Yeah.
each have 1 stress.
Well, I did
Yeah.
it twice. I did it twice.
How else do
Yeah,
I was so
we-
scared it was going to
do
devolve
stress?
into a fight that I was like banking. I was like, I've only got 4 left, and if this turns into a fight.
Is there any other way to clear stress than the Liberty?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it has
Like
to
at
be
all? Woo!
How come we didn't clear any? Oh, never mind.
Do we
You
do
have
Liberty
less
last
stress.
time?
We did Liberty, but I cleared health. I didn't clear the stress, so that's actually going to be different. So Shimya should actually only have 1 stress.
No, I made sure everyone's stress was cleared. She had a lot of stress. Right?
No, it was 1 tick from full, but I should have been healed 3.
Yeah, you should have been healed 3, and she
So I
still
should
has
only
4.
have- Yeah,
Oh,
so
well then yeah.
Bring me back to 1, baby.
Yeah, so Shimya actually has 1 stress.
I think
Zero
if,
is not
with the
the
last
character.
Liberty, your stress should be fine. If I were
Yeah.
also a Commander Legion person, I would again focus on healing and recuperating.
Yeah.
You need your specialists to be
Back in the game.
back in
And
the
special.
game.
Did you? I can't. We'll talk after Tyler. We'll sidebar because I don't know what you did here for the stress. Who you marked off?
So, rest and recuperation. Is everyone pretty hurt right now?
Level 3 for Shimia still, with an additional level 2, and then I think Captain Shackleton is still pretty. Well, you don't have a level 3 anymore. They use the mercenaries. Some level 2s. Basically, I think the biggest thing is the level 3 on Shimia, which you're 1 tick away, so you would heal on this one, and you don't have the mercy to use.
Okay, and then. So do I get to choose just one of these?
You get to choose 2. Your morale's still high, so you get 2 campaign actions.
Okay.
Every time.
Are we
say
able
this,
to recruit people
Yeah.
right now?
Huh?
Are we able to recruit people right now?
If you want to, but you don't need to.
Okay.
What are all we have?
Boosted 2 of those rookies or soldiers instead is what this says. If
Yeah.
we do recruit people.
But you don't have any slots to put them in.
Okay, I see.
Well, technically you haven't detailed the rest of your legion, but it's assumed that you have 30 rookies already. So what you could do narratively is that the bandits are already trained soldiers. So what I would say is that you could use that to upgrade those, like narratively to upgrade those 2 into soldiers, because they're already like trained personnel. They're not like new, like they're not like farm hands you brought in. They're trained with weapons. They know what they're doing. So you could make them soldiers instead. If you did that,
If
that's
you
something you
boosted
want to
that.
do. Yeah.
Recruit action.
Okay. So do you guys want to hear the other options?
Sure.
So acquire assets, so you can beg, borrow, or steal an asset that you need, and you roll the location's assets rating. What is this?
Western front is 0.
0.
So you roll
Oh, that again.
disadvantage.
Okay, great.
Yeah. It's a bad
I
place.
can use
to
one of
work.
my spies to add 1 to that if you needed that.
Well, I
It
feel
would
like
just
we
make it a
should go
single
somewhere
die.
else that
Yeah.
has better stuff.
Exactly.
I don't know if your
Um,
commander sheet tells you what Plainsworth's asset rating is.
It does not.
Alright.
It just shows
And
me that it
then-
has lots of missions, and one of them is a holy mission.
So liberty isn't really something we need, but typically it would clear stress
Yeah.
and or morale.
Yeah, it would enhance morale and lower stress. But I
Yeah.
don't think that's an action you need.
No, and then long-term project, which we discussed, we can do. So
But
we
they're
can-
not anymore. They're going to be fill-in rookies.
There'd still be one
Oh.
place.
We got
You
one.
can't make like one person laborer. It's like got to be like a group of people.
Bummer.
Okay, we can't have just one person. name.
Yeah, like just fucking make
What
a
if it's
chair.
just-
Can we make him a spy? You want another
Maybe in
spy?
the future.
So what
Working on
does long-term project mean? It has to be like a group of people working on something.
So long-term project is basically anything you want to make up narratively that you're like, we want to make a way to diffuse Blighter's poison. We want to
Okay, I
do
feel like we
some.
don't have enough information yet
Yeah.
to do a long-term project. So, I mean, rest and recuperation is a given.
Okay.
So we'll do that, and then I guess recruit.
You want to
You
try
guys
to
good
get them
with
into
that?
soldiers?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna spend your last supply
Yeah. Do I gain any?
only on supply missions, and some like recon missions. There are supply missions in Plainsworth. So
Cool.
if he's moving, you have the potential to run those.
Okay. So
You can't do that here. Like at some point, you're gonna have to leave the Western Front, and in order to get supplies,
Because there aren't supplies here.
essentially is what the 0 asset rating is telling you. Like, there's nothing to be found here that can help boost you guys.
So what can I spend supply to boost campaign actions? Okay.
You can use it to boost any campaign action, and you can use it to do multiples of 2 of those. Long-term project and the acquire assets you can do multiple times.
Okay. Do you guys think we should recruit?
I think having them as soldiers would boost the Ember Wolves in a way that'll make them.
Will they automatically be in charge of their soldiers? Because I don't know if I necessarily trust them right now to
No.
be in charge.
No,
of
no,
They're not
you get to
specialists.
pick unless it's
Okay.
an officer.
Yeah, I think we should spend that supply and
Okay.
get supply elsewhere.
Cool. Then you have 2 soldiers. We'll make sure to print those sheets for next time.
Okay, great.
And whoever lost rookies gets to detail those soldiers. Or you can either do it, or I can detail them in terms of like what I think narratively they were doing. It's up to you. You can make them, or I can make them.
Maybe you should make them.
You lost people, so you just.
Yeah, it's up to you.
You want to make them, or do you want Jeremy to?
Since they were like NPCs. I will make them good. I'm not gonna like make them crappy.
Yeah.
They have no action dots.
They chose to do nothing with their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, go for it.
Okay. You can like name them. I'll just put like little like their special abilities and stuff for what they were doing for Hammer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the name you christened.
Is there any particular specialist that you want them to become?
I mean, we're missing a
Sniper.
So one of those would be dope.
Okay.
What do you guys feel for the other?
Who's likely next gonna die?
A heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A secondary heavy.
yeah,
Because I
like-
think Emeralds need to start rolling with 2.
Yeah. Alright,
I
so
feel like Sniper and Heavy are the two that are probably going to keep getting.
Yeah.
Because every assault mission requires one or the other.
yeah.
Yeah. let's do it.
Sometimes both. Alright, cool. Noted.
Sorry, that was me freaking out. I don't know why I made that noise.
Alright, so you're gonna do a heal recuperate, and you spend a supply to upgrade your 2 rookie bandits and 2 soldier bandits. Cool. And then the next one is advancing. Are you gonna advance from the western front?
Yes.
Okay.
We're advancing to Plainsworth.
So how much pressure are you at?
We were at. Well, we didn't add any pressure, right?
You should add a pressure from this mission.
1 pressure.
Yeah. So you should be
I
at
already ticked one off.
No, that was time passing.
yeah.
So add 1 pressure.
For every mission.
Add pressure when time passes.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. And then you didn't fail the crocodile mission, so you didn't take pressure from that, and you don't receive a penalty from the 3rd mission. But narratively, something has happened with the runaway dogs.
Yeah, that hound is gonna.
The eater.
Eater.
So we have 1 pressure.
Okay, so you'll roll 1 die and take that result, or you can spend a horses and reduce that to 0, and then you'll roll at disadvantage.
Spend
And I want to roll
horses.
this because I'm trying to
Yeah,
roll
the
low.
ideal is that you want to roll at disadvantage. Up to you guys.
I mean, when are we gonna use horses?
Let's
There-
spend the horses.
Okay.
Is it a
Okay.
whole horse use or just 1 use of horses?
1 use of horses.
And there are 6 uses.
Ideally, like narratively, each horse represents like 12 horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
So
go-
Horse.
how many
we go
uses
big.
do we got left of horses? Like 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5.
Do we have
5
2
once
horses
we use
or-
this one.
Yeah.
Do we have 2 horses or 1 horse?
2.
So there's 12 uses in total.
6 uses in
6.
total.
So there's 3 uses per horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it
yeah,
was the other way.
yeah.
Okay, we can get more horses maybe.
Let's.
That's
I
an
think
acquired
we
assets.
can maybe. Yeah.
Acquired assets. I can always.
Yeah.
help with
Before
too,
we
so-
advance, is there anything else you want your spies to do? Because you're tied in at the campaign action phase.
Yeah, my spy is just going to continue on the long-term expand network.
Okay.
Or that's what Bordis is doing.
Okay.
I think Antoinette's gonna help with the. Is gonna use the interrogation
Okay.
simple assignment to help you out.
Okay.
So that gives me
You get to ask an
Uh,
intel question from any box.
from any box. What special missions have we heard of at a location ahead?
There are 3. Oh.
It's the Mario Kart shortcut.
Yes.
We found the secret tunnel.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You just
my
have to have a Russia
favorite.
to be able to use it.
Now, you'll still have to use an intel to access the special mission, and you don't get to choose. It's chosen at random.
Yeah.
Just so you know. So there are 3. The first one is an assault. An infamous-led undead patrol has been doing nighttime raids on local settlements and capturing people, keeping them in cages. A nearby village that Plainsworth used to regularly trade with is currently being used to hold these captives before they are taken for undead conversion. A rabid raid would reunite local friends and family, likely net volunteers for the Legion, and provide insight into into what the Broken was planning for them. The rewards are 2 morale, 5 rookie recruits, and 1 intel. The penalty is 1 morale, minus 1 morale.
Oh, it's pretty high reward.
Yeah.
The special missions are like nuts. The second one is a supply mission. Nearby is a storied place from the Legion's history. The Tantari banner, the original symbol of the Legion's authority, was lost when the Empire fell. It was granted to the Marshal of the Legion by the first Emperor. After the breaking 3 years ago, one of the Broken set up a dig site to look for it. Undead have been spotted returning there. The mission is to finish the dig while fending off any challengers. Your rewards are 2 morale and a relic called the Tantari Banner. The marshal may choose to ignore the morale penalty of up to 5 deaths.
Oh, with the banner,
Yeah.
5 deaths will not affect our morale.
Yeah. The last one is a religious mission. And just so you know, also all special missions always grant favor. The last mission is Voyas Karavich, the Kingfisher Knight, is renowned for his skill in battle. He's said to be cursed, and rather than inflict this on others, he retired nearby to the southern mountain range to spend his days in contemplation, tending a local holy site. If he could be swayed to join and be cleansed, his expertise in combat might would surely be a huge benefit to the Legion. The mission reward is 1 religious supplies. All specialists on the mission gain an additional 2 XP, and you gained Voyas Karavich as a specialist heavy with 2 additional action dots.
Woo!
Okay.
Now we know what lies ahead. Let's get the hell out of West Mars.
And I got to roll for my Bortis.
Yes.
Double.
You get
6.
5. You finish your project.
Bortis, you bad motherfucker.
Wait, what happened?
So that means that I can expand my network, which means that I now can pick 1 extra thing that I can do. So I can either gain another spy and mark their train box. I can get analysts, which spies will now roll plus 1d on research assignments. Field assessment, I may ask 1 additional question when I interrogate, so that will allow you to ask another question. Spies roll plus 1d on lay trap missions, which those are one of my long-term missions that I can do.
They like go a town ahead of you and then can help you with like missions in that town.
It basically allows us to have an assault mission against a very important. It says the next mission list will include an assault mission to attack a specific lieutenant or infamous.
And be set up for them. That could be fucking huge.
That's when we get strong. We gotta get strong first.
So I will take input, but my thought is I kind of want to go down the acquisition route because that gives me another spy, which allows me to have 3 spies.
Yes.
Which means that I can then dedicate 1 to you pretty much at all times. Have my 1 floating that like, can help my roles, can help you with assets, and then I can still have my long-term project running.
That's great. That's
I love
great.
it. I love it.
All right.
You just getting up off the ground. You getting the spy network running. You need 1 on each thing. Yeah.
Let's go, Baron. Let's go.
Let's go.
So for
Colin
the
Zemo.
intel one, Antoinette returns, kind of parcel in hand, coming from up ahead in Plainsworth, and kind of takes the commander aside, sits you down. You share kind of a nice cup of coffee between the 2 of you. It's if you don't mind me speaking, I think that's Antoinette's favorite drink. Is coffee. This her picture makes her look like that type of person. So she has this kind of like done up, kind of 60s style, pinned up hair, wears like a hat like a little bit off to the side, very like English inspired, big like bell gown piece here, tight corset up top, like showing clavicle and shoulder, and sits down and explains to you like the missions ahead, and this Voyas Karavich person could be very interesting.
Why do you have particular interest in him?
Just a wild card could turn the favor for us.
I'll consult Zora. Thank you.
And finishes the coffee, stands up, and walks out of the tent. I assume it's like a large tent you all meet in. Okay, cool. Very cool. That's a great roll.
Yeah, and can I also say that with that, when Bortis completes,
yes,
when he gets his expand network and he gets acquisition, he gets his next spy. So that's the thing, is that I took Bortis originally because Bortis is good at expanding the network, but he has ambitions to become the spy master eventually, and so I like to think that like in this process, so he's bringing on Ingrid.
Okay.
And I'll just read off Ingrid. Ingrid is an Aldermark local. Ingrid blends into all the settlements nearby. She travels the area freely, taking note of news and rumors. Her specialty is that whenever Ingrid interrogates, You may ask one additional intel question.
So she's gonna be the question, so I can get 3.
You get 2.
You get 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, if I get the field assessment, you will be able to get 3. But
That's awesome.
so the way that this goes, I like to think that like Bordis gets Ingrid, and he's like, "Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get real close to the commander. You're gonna be interrogating people for the commander specifically." And like that's great. Our whole network's going. Baron Vaughn is like the pieces. Right? Just as I thought. Meanwhile, Bordis is like, the person I just recruited is getting real close to the commander.
When they say who should be the new spy master, I want to make sure that
Ding ding.
Ding ding.
I love that you're having like this inner work, like this fight amongst all these people, but it's literally all just you.
Hey, Master of Whispers. That's all we're doing.
There is actually only one
whispering
person.
to each
There's
other.
only one spy. He's like, he's whispering to himself.
You can use Ingrid now if you want to.
All right.
You'll probably be on the help thing, but you can use like interrogation or whatever the
Can
other
I-
simple ones are.
Can we like kind of retcon this and have it so that Bordis finishes that recruitment, and then Ingrid is the one that goes and interrogates for the commander?
Sure.
And then can I send what's her name on a long-term assignment?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So you'll get to ask one more question.
Cool. She left, got her assignment from me out the door, handed or whatever your like next assignment, and then the other girl came in.
Yeah.
Don't even have to retcon.
All right.
All right.
What do you want to know from Ingrid?
What resources or benefits might we find at a specific location ahead?
Plainsworth was known as the breadbasket of Aldermark, so it tied into a lot of mercantile pathways and was sort of like the main road you would take to get to the Western continent. So anytime you're trying to acquire food or horses, you'll get an additional 2 die to use on that roll. In addition to the asset rating being 2, so you'll get 4 die total for food and horses.
So we're gonna put the horses over there. Noted.
And then so that's done. Or did
Do I roll for the long-term now?
Oh yeah.
It's 5.
So 2, right?
So 2 ticks, yeah. And Antoinette's going on research.
Or what is the research project, or what does it do?
So research uncover spies, research an area for high reward missions, which since we're going to a new location, they're going to scout that location. Learn all the special missions in a location, and if the commander spends an intel to acquire one, you may pick which to do. If you move past the location, you reset the clock. So if we do move past really quickly, then that clock resets, but we've got 2 of the 10 ticked off here.
In terms of like next areas after Plainsworth, Plainsworth is a good place to like load up on supply missions, get the supplies up, build like supply carts if you need to, acquire laborers or something. It's a good like rest stop before you go into like the more barren areas of Aldermark. Yeah. I mean, not if you're heading towards Westlake, you only have to go through Sunstrider Camp, but if you like go north, going the north pass, we can talk about this on the Plainsworth more specifically, but going north is way harder, but the benefits and rewards are huge up into Talgon Forest and over in the Barrack Mines and Garrow Pass. Heading south is sort of like the easier, you deal more with like humans than the undead because you're passing through like 3 major cities, and then you head to Fort Callisto, and then towards Skydagger Keep. Either way, you have to pass by Fort Callisto or Talgon Forest at some point. But the northern path is less people, probably more undead, more wilds, more dangers. There's no supply missions along the long road, but just keep those things in mind. Plainsworth is a good place to like sit down and let's get ready for whatever path we're gonna pick.
Hash that out, yeah.
Very awesome. That double 6 was clutch.
Yeah, that was huge. Bordis, my boy.
That's early stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I never rolled the thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
so
I
I
was-
rolled 2
I want
because
them
of
to
what
finish.
they-
Yeah.
Okay.
2 at disadvantage.
Ooh. 5.
So you mark 2 ticks.
2 additional time.
And as you and other than that, that is everything for the end of this campaign phase, and that brings us to the end of this episode. We'll draw up some mission phase stuff, and we'll dive into that next time. Thanks for joining us today, and see you Friday.
Good night.
Catch
I'll find it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. See
This
you later.
is the
Bye.
fade.
Goodbye.
This is the slow
Bye-bye
fade.
now.
This is the slow.
Goodbye.
Hey everyone, it's Grace. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. If you had fun like we did, please let us know by leaving a like and subscribing. Also tap the notification bell to be updated on new videos as soon as they come out. If you want to support us, you can head on over to our Patreon page where you can see our current goals for the shows we produce. Every dollar helps us create better content more often. Have a great day, and remember, you too can forge your own path. See you next time.